This is John Perivale. We're back again with like a second roundup this week. I did not have time to tell you about a number of individual recitals and smaller group live streams that are going on this weekend. They are mostly in the United States, although there's one in the UK. And I just didn't have time to include them in the Monday roundup where we were talking about, operas being put on by La Scala and the Stockholm Royal Symphony Orchestra, et cetera, et cetera. So I want to take the time to give you some background on these other live streams coming up this weekend. I do not want to imply any way that the quality of these live streams are lesser or that they're less interesting. There's so much live streaming going on now. All right, it's increasing. It's not increasing arithmetically. It's more than arithmetical now. It's not quite exponential, but if this keeps up, it will become exponential. In any event, let me get right to it instead of continuing to talk about what I'm going to talk about. But before I do that, if you're watching us on YouTube, please do subscribe and like this video. If you're watching us on Facebook, follow us and like the video. And if you like this video on any of the platforms where we are, because we are on a number, do repost them to other people that love the performing arts, so that we can gather together this enormous global audience for the performing arts, which we know you're out there. Okay, we want to bring you all together with us to enjoy these live streams, because the more we watch, the more live streams we'll have. Okay, having said all that introductory stuff, I don't have to say it at the end anymore. This is going to take a little while because I want to give you some background on each of these great live streams. The first one is on Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, 1 in the afternoon on the West Coast in the US, and 10 o'clock in the evening in Europe. And this is part of the St. David's music series in Baltimore. It's put on by the Episcopal Church there. It looks to be a very high quality. This is not like amateur night at the church. Okay, you got to understand that, especially because it's the Episcopal Church, which is my church, and we don't kid around. Okay, anyway, this is Gut, Wind, and Wire. Okay, Gut, Wind, and Wire is a subgroup of the Baltimore Consort. It's 3 members of the Baltimore Consort, which is one of the premier early music groups in the United States. And this particular trio consists of I have an image I want to put up for you too, but this particular trio consists of Ron McFarlane, Mark Kudek, and Mindy Rosenfeld. I keep moving forward here to try to get the Instagram separate live stream, the camera work correct. Okay, so who are these people? Well, Mark Kudek is the former chair of the Historical Performance Department at the Peabody Institute, at the Peabody Conservatory at Johns Hopkins, which is the oldest music conservatory in the United States. So he might know something. They might know something. He's currently the artistic director of the Indianapolis Early Music Festival, and he's one of the founding members of this Baltimore Consort. Ron McFarlane is a lute player, and he has over 40 recordings on the Dorian Sono Luminous label. One of his latest albums is an album of traditional Scottish and Irish music. I'm going to give you an idea of the music they'll be playing in a minute. And then he has one with lute and viola da gamba duos with Carolyn Surik, if you're an early music person, you know about her. Then the third member is Mindy Rosenfeld, who's also a founding member of the concert. She's been a member since 1989 of San Francisco's Philharmonia Baroque Orchestra, which the New York Times says is the nation's premier such ensemble in the country. She's recorded extensively. She's appeared in places like Lincoln Center's Mostly Mozart Festival, the Berkeley Early Music Festival, BBC Proms, the Dutch Concertgebouw, the Carnegie and Disney Halls. So this is not something to sneeze at. Now, their exact program I can't give you, but I can show you this. All right, here is on the Baltimore Consort page. Here are the tracks on the album they did, which goes by the same name as this concert does. That is, the album is called Gut, Wind, and Wire. And as you look through it, you can see this is, early music. I can't see it that well on my screen. It's pretty small. And I don't know if I can blow my screen up. Let me see if I can. I can't. But if you're viewing it full screen, you can see that it's early music with these kinds of instruments like lutes and viola da gamba and things like that. So if you love that kind of music, this is going to be a highly expert rendition of it. I don't think you can get better of it than that. And it's free of charge. Okay, we move on, and we give you the link to that. We'll give you all the links and the times and the dates. Now, the next one is then later in the day. I think it's later in the day on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, 10:30 p.m. on the East Coast, very early in the morning, 4:30 in the morning in Europe. I don't think anyone will stay up for this, but you never know. But it will be noontime, 12:30 p.m. down under in Australia for those of us who follow us from there. And this is a Pacific Lutheran University live stream on their YouTube page of works by composer Dawn Sonntag. Now, the participants in it, we don't have the names of all the works. The participants in it, though, include a soprano, Holly Boaz, a viola player, a euphonium, and a violin player. And Dawn Sonntag herself is both a pianist, composer, a vocalist, and a choral conductor. So she has composed choral works that have been performed by university choirs across the country. Her first opera was called Verlorene Heimat, the Lost Home, I think is how that translates. And it premiered back in 2014 at Hiram College. She's very much in the academic circuit. And it chronicled the experiences of German East Prussian refugees in Eastern Europe during World War II. She has some commissions out, including a work for chorus, Chinese instruments, and marimba. And a piano work is in commission for a Cleveland-based pianist, and an opera with the libretto by the Norwegian-American writer Gracia Grindal for the 100th anniversary of Augsburg College in 2019. So that's Dawn Sonntag, and there she is. Okay, so you can see who it is, whose works are going to be performed there. Again, it's free of charge, and it's comfortable evening times on the East and the West Coast in the U.S. and lunchtime in Australia. Okay, so we move on from that to the, I'm still getting used to putting photos up, to Sunday. And the first thing we have Sunday, I'm very excited about that. We just discovered it. This is a whole series of classical recitals put on by St. Mary's Perivale, which is in West London. And they're on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So coming up over the next months, we are going to be including them along with other material like this in our weekly roundups and all. So I'm very happy about it. And I just fell upon this one by chance when I was doing other things online today. Today it was it was Sarah McLaughlin today, and she just did beautiful stuff on the piano. Sunday, 15th of September, 3 o'clock UK time, which is 4 o'clock in Europe, 10 in the morning on the East Coast, 7 in the morning on the West Coast, and late midnight in Australia, free of charge on the St. Mary Perivale YouTube page, the Delphine Trio. That consists of Magdalena Kristevska on the clarinet. She's from Australia. Jobien Siekman on the cello. He's from the Netherlands. And Rolof Temming on the piano, and he's from South Africa. So, globalism is well underway now. They'll be playing Roland Jones's trio for clarinet, piano, and cello. composed just in 2023. It's a 16-minute piece in a single movement. And they'll be playing Beethoven's Clarinet Trio in E flat, Opus 38, which is 42 minutes long. This is a group of former students at the Royal College of Music in London. They all took their master's degrees at RCM. They all received then thereafter the special honor of having an RCM Junior Fellowship, all three of them. And this was in 2020 that they were putting the group together. They have their first album out that just came out earlier this year. It's called Adrift on the Dutch label TRPTK. And I will give you their description of what this album is, because these kids are great. Okay, I could call them kids. Hey, I'm really old, older than I look. Here's what they said: this CD shines a light on beautiful hidden gems of the clarinet trio repertoire and has been a huge labor of love. We can't wait to hear what you think. They've appeared in a number of competitions, and they have appeared at different festivals in the Netherlands, and also they regularly perform at different festivals in England, like the Buxton International Festival, the Chelsea Music Society Concert Series, the Banstead Arts Festivals, things like that. Worth checking out. Again, it's free of charge. You have nothing to lose by checking this out. And I don't know if I showed you the photo of them. I did briefly by mistake, but here is the three of them, hard at play, or at work, if you want to call it that. And that's your Delphine trio on Sunday. We then wind up this weekend of special events and smaller groups playing for you with a special concert. It's a memorial concert organized by Composers Concordance. Composers Concordance is directed by Gene Pritzker, composer, guitarist, who is known for foisting jazz and rap music and rhythms onto classical music structures. Anyway, this is a concert in memory of Sean Satin or Satin. I did not know the man. I am not familiar with him. A guitarist who was well loved by this whole circle of avant-garde and classical jazz crossover musicians in New York City. And here's another picture of him with Gene Pritzker there on the left. So at this concert, a number of people have composed works to be performed. So this is as new as music gets and as intentional as it gets. It's music by people like Bruce Arnold, Lynn Bechtold, Charles Coleman, Shehan S. Stryker, Jane Gedder, Patrick Grant, Eugene McBride, Ginka Mizuki, David Saperstein, and his best friend, Gene Pritzker, who you see there online. Some of the musicians are people they're from all over the world, really, and they end up in New York, and they include people like Franz Hackel, the trumpeter from Europe, who founded the Outreach Orchestra and Festival, violinist Lynn Bechtold. She's from Pittsburgh, but she's done recitals all over the world, and a big advocate of new music. And Ukrainian Canadian violinist Petro Krysa. I mean, what you see is what you get with these people. You get international people who all share a commitment to seeing what we can do if we stop being bound by the difference between, well, what is classical and what is jazz, and what is, and how can we improvise classically the way jazz musicians do, and the way classical musicians used to do at certain periods in the past. I don't have encyclopedic knowledge of that, but maybe I will do some reading up on it and fill you in more on that later. Okay, we're almost at 15 minutes, so I'm going to wind this up. I hope this was helpful background to some of you. I hope it leads some of you who are following us to check out one or more of these concerts free of charge when they're on YouTube or the Composers Concordance. The last one is It's not on YouTube. It's on their Facebook page. Whenever there is a, and I didn't give you the time, so I'll give you the time now. It's at 5 in the evening on the East Coast, which is 2 in the afternoon on the West Coast, 11 o'clock in the evening in Europe, and 7 o'clock on Monday morning in Australia. Now, whether it's on YouTube or that's on their Facebook page, their Facebook Live page. Whether it's on YouTube or Facebook, if there's a comment section, do drop in and just say hello to Arts Live, Access Arts Live. Even if you don't see us there, post a little note saying, hey, thank you to Access Arts Live for leading me to this, because we love to see that. We're not just whistling Dixie here. We're trying to bring us all together enjoying this online material. Ciao for now. Have a good week. I'll be back again probably tomorrow with the summary of the organ recitals that we have going this week. So it's building up. There's so much. I can't get it all done in one live stream anymore. Okay. Thanks for tuning in. And remember to follow us, especially on YouTube if you're watching this there, or if you see this